Good evening, everyone. Hope you're doing well. I've talked about the price of oil in previous videos that I thought it was in the process of bottoming, the process of forming a breakout, that it is relatively underpriced compared to other major commodities such as gold, silver, relative to other major asset classes like stocks that are at or near all-time record highs. And firstly, we're looking at, I've turned off the MACD and RSI because I'll acknowledge right now the MACD and RSI do not support a buy or a breakout. So this is still early days as oil develops. But of course, in the last 24 hours, we've seen oil jump up in price as a result. The Trump administration new sanctions imposed on Russia's two biggest oil producers. So that's putting some upward pressure on the price. But firstly, if we take the spike high from June, we're on a daily chart here, and we draw this pattern here, you can see that it's a pretty standard sort of falling wedge pattern. So the wedge would be till here. So falling wedge is generally a sign that the trend is about to turn, that it's probably a buy. And you can see the wedge there, and of course the breakout, and then a return to the scene of the crime to test the breakout, as we quite often see, another test, a third test, and I would say that's a fourth test, and now we're getting the pop. So the pretty textbook there that it's a breakout, it's return to test. Now that level there is key because we've got the lows from April and May. You might not be able to see that spike low there on the video quality, but there is a spike low there around $56.50 a barrel. And if we draw that across there, we can see oil also came to test that level. So it's testing the wedge breakout and it's testing the previous lows there. And of course, that was a significant decline from the 23rd of June, about 27% from high to low. Now, that's a pretty generous way to draw it. Another way to draw it would be to ignore that ridiculous red candle. And you could say oil is still a little bit indecisive because it was in this falling wedge. It broke out, so I'm ignoring that spike high there. It broke out of the falling wedge and then returned to test the test and then fell below. Now it's recovering. So it's a little bit indecisive, but again, the recovery today back above the falling wedge, holding this key low here, is a sign that oil wants to bottom. It's just a little bit early days yet. And if we go to a weekly candlestick chart, and I don't want to draw that yet, let's see if we can make it look a bit better on the screen. There's a spike high there at $130, which you might find tough to see, but that's the high from June 2022. And if we draw across there, we can see it's still a little bit dicey, but it wants to break out. It's in this falling channel, breaking out, testing, breaking out, testing, testing. So it's a little bit early days yet, but oil, the moves in the last couple of days, increasing the probability that we are in a breakout. We'll continue to monitor and look at charts in future videos. Cheers.